Welcome up. In this tutorial, we're going to look about layout grid in details using the device sizes we've created in the previous video. Now I'm going to select the first frame, which is PC, and update the background color. Let's revert it back to white. So now, to apply your layout grid in Figma, you're going to come down to the left panel here and click this plus sign to add the layout grid. Now by default, it comes in grid of 10 pixels, something like this. For you to update that, you're going to select in this drop down, or you simply come and click on this grid box here. Then here, select from grid to columns. Now we have column count from 1 to 12. Depend on the type of design you're doing. Mostly when it comes to desktop website design, we used to have most commonly used are 2-column grid. Now this column layout, 2-column layout, will give you the option to place your content. Maybe you have your text by the side of the first column and you have your image by the other side of the second column. So this is one of the most useful tools when it comes to 2-column grid. Now one thing you need to note when it comes to your column layout, columns are not just there for fashion, they are there to guide you on how to properly position your content in your website. So what you are going to do, let's assume we are going to use 2-column count. Now these 2 columns were already fixed, but something is missing in that 2 column, because if you have a website and you design a website and your content are starting from the edge of the screen, it doesn't make a good look at all. So that is why you need to first configure your column to be very to be very positioned. That's why you need to configure your columns to be properly aligned before you do any other thing. So now what we're going to do is to select the PC frame and go back to our column. So now we're going to click on this and come here and increase the margin to 20. This way we're going to have margin of 20 from both sides. Now, if you're dealing with PC device, we suggest your margin should be at least 40. This way you have enough gap from both sides of the columns. So it's okay. 40 is the best margin for PC screen. So now we are done with this. The next thing we are going to learn is about the gutter. The gutter is spacing between 2 columns. When you have first column and the second column, this space that is a gutter, you can also modify that. So for us to do, let's select the frame again, go back to our columns. Then here we can, update the gutter to be, let's say, 30. So that you can have space between the 2 columns. That will make your website look more professional. Now from here also you can change it from straight to center. You can see the way it is, from center to right, from right to left. Depends on what design you are doing, but most commonly is the straight default column layout. So this is how you can use the columns in 2-column count. From here it's always auto, you can update it and all that. Now let's assume you want to deal with a 4-column count. You can easily come here and update it to 4 columns. So it will give you something like this. You don't have problem, you can maintain it. If you want to use 8-column grid, you come here, click 8. If you want to use 12, you come here and click on 12. You can see this way it maintains the column margin and the gutter. The 2 are maintained. So this is all about PC. Now from here again, you can change it. If you want it to be row, this is going to revert the position of the column, being it horizontal. If you want it to be column, you change it here. It's going to be like that. If you want it to be grid, you come there. Grid as well, you can reduce the sizing of the grid and update anything you want. So we revert it back to column. Now again, lastly, you can update the color of these columns from here. Maybe you want it to be dark, you can draw to the dark, and you can increase the opacity for here based on whatever your choice is. So now we are done with this. I'm going to revert back the color to red so that it will look uniform. So this is how you can apply your columns in your PC size. Now let's go to mobile. I'm going to hide the PC now. You can hold down your shift key and scroll. This is going to hide the PC. Now I'm going to zoom in and come back again. So now when we go to the mobile, the same thing applies. You can click the mobile, select the mobile frame, and come here to add your column layout grid. Now for here, we're going to select again to columns. Then we're going to change the number of columns to 4. Mobile columns is always 4. 4 is the best mobile columns we can use. Then here we can increase the margin to 20 this time since we are using the mobile view. So mobile layout 20 is the best margin you can give. So this way, as we explained before, your content should stay here and here. You can have 2 different content as well, but the content should not exceed the column. So that is the essence of using column and all that. So you can also use the color option to update the color of the columns. Use the cut option to see if you can also update it and reduce the spacing and all that. So this is all about that. Now let's go to the tablet PC portrait mode. Now we select the tablet and also come to layout grid and add a column to this. Now we have 5 column count. For tablet, you can use either 6 or 8. So let's go with 8. If you have 8, the same thing, you can come here and update the margin to 20 as well. The same way, you can also update the column count. Let's say you want to invert it to 4. Just update the number here and you're going to have 4. The same thing applies. You can use any kind of number of columns you want, but make sure you follow the screen size so that your content will not be too jam-packed. So that is why we have this. So in iPad, you can use 4 and 8 maximum. You can also use 2, you can use 4, 8 maximum. While in desktop, you can use 2, 4, 8, and 12, depend on the device type. So similarly, when it comes to the landscape mode of the tablet, we can also apply our columns and change it to columns as well. Then this time, you can leave it as, let's say, this time is going to be 6. 6 column layout is the best for this landscape mode, and also increase the margin to 20. And this way is going to update this. So this is how you can use column grid, layout grid in your design system. Remember, at the end of the day, let's say you created all these columns and you want to maintain the column count in your design system so that when you create another screen of the same size, you don't need to start creating the columns again. Let's assume for this mobile here, we want to maintain this 4 column count for all the screens we are going to design. So what you are going to do is to select that frame first. Then you come down to your layout grid and select this 4 grid box here where they say apply style. You can click on it, then click on this button and come here to save this particular columns. So I can name it as 4 column tiles. Then create style. So this way the style is there forever. Let's assume I create another frame. Let me come here and create frame here, and I click iPhone 16. You can see we have it. So if you go to your columns count now, you can see I have the 4 counts here, and I can click it to add it automatically without going through the process of customizing the quarter, the margin, and all that. So this is how you can create your column and use it over and over again. Then for us to round up, let's click on the frame again. You can decide to hide the column or show it. So by just coming here under the column and click on this eye, it will hide it. While you click back again, it will show it back. Then lastly, let's say you make mistake and you want to delete the column, you can click on this minus sign. This will automatically delete the column. So this is all about layout grid. In the next video, we are going to learn more features.